What is up, guys and gals? I am Purebred Stallion, coming at you right here with a brand new video. In today's video, we will be covering the new Premier League season, which is just a day away. It starts this Saturday in the morning, because I do live in the Eastern time zone in the United States, so most of the Premier League games are played in the morning due to the time change. But anyways, it does kick off this Saturday, and I am super excited to see this season of Premier League soccer, or football if you're from Europe. Anyways, I am a bit biased. If you do see, I do have the Chelsea kit on today, but I think I made this table pretty fair. I don't think I showed too much favoritism, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. As you guys can most likely see, I am in a new bedroom. This is a new setting for my YouTube videos. Every single YouTube video that I had made previous to this one was in my bedroom, and I sat everything on my dresser, and it was not a great setup. It was a mess. It was unorganized. But anyways, now we are in a new room. I've got a rolly chair. I've got to get used to not rolling around on it so it doesn't confuse you guys or make you dizzy. But anyways, we are in the extra bedroom across the hall. I will not be doing a setup tour right now because the room is not finished. As you can see, there's still a mattress and some boxes in the back. But when this room is finished up, you guys can fully expect to see a setup tour and get to see everything else that is going to be in this office, studio, whatever you want to call it, and you get to see how my desk is set up as well. So that is something you guys can look forward to on this channel, because you will see more uploads coming. The school year has started. I have more access to more equipment, and I can really focus on pumping out more videos. And also, the release of FIFA 17 is a little over a month and a half away. So that means you guys are going to get to see FIFA 17 content come out, because I will be planning on pre-ordering that game so I can get it the first day it comes out and start giving you guys some amazing content here on YouTube. Now it is time to crack on with the Premier League predictions. We're going to go from bottom to top. So we're going to go with the 3 relegation teams and then all the way up to the champion this season to see who, if anyone, can knock Leicester City off of the throne. Okay, so starting off with who is at the bottom of the league table, and a lot of you guys might not agree with this one, but I'm going to go ahead and say that AFC Bournemouth are going to finish bottom of the Premier League. This is because I don't think Bournemouth has any promise going into this season. I don't think they had much of a good team last year, and I'm very surprised that they stayed up. They did have a couple big wins, though. They did beat Chelsea, but a lot of people could beat Chelsea last year, so that wasn't much of an accomplishment. Anyways, I do think they're going to finish bottom of the table this year in the Premier League and get relegated down to the championship. 19th on the list is going to be a team that just got bumped up to the Premier League. They got themselves a Premier League goalkeeper in Brad Guzan, but they are headed right back down, and that is Middlesbrough. I don't think Middlesbrough, again, has any other promise. Brad Guzan was terrible in the Premier League last year, and I don't see any reason that should change this year. But with that being said, they're not going to finish last. That's going to bring us to the last relegation spot, which is the 18th spot, and Hull City will be that team going right back down. Hull City, this is a very hard choice between 17 and 18, and we'll get into that in a second. But 18 is Hull City, and they sold some of their top players. I don't think they're going to have a very good team, and I've got them finishing in 18th. Okay, 17th. This was a hard choice. This is the decision I had to make between Hull City and Burnley. Burnley I had as the team who barely stayed up. So I did have the 3 promoted teams in 17, 18, and 19, and Burnley did do the best out of those 3 teams, and they get to stay up in the BPL because of it. Number 16, I have a team that didn't impress many last year in the Premier League, and they don't really have any big stars on this team, and that's West Bromwich Albion. Again, this team is a team made up of some okay players. They do have Rondon. He is an absolute beast of a striker, and it wouldn't shock me if he gets sold, if he leaves West Brom, because again, there's no one around him in that team to make it a team that I would want to play for as a top-level striker. So he could see a move, 1, by the end of the summer, or 2, once the January transfer window opens up. and West Brom will be sitting towards the bottom of the table, fighting to avoid relegation, but I think they'll eventually finish in 16th. 15 is a team that has had some struggles trying to stay up in the Premier League these last few seasons, but it's a team that I think will do a little bit better this year, and that is Sunderland. I think Sunderland, they have some great young players, and they showed that they have the ability to perform in big matches. They showed that last year in the Premier League. So that's a team that I think needs to be, not thought of as a bottom 3 team anymore. That's going to bring us up to 14, which is going to be Swansea City. This is a team that I think could finish lower than 14. Starting last year's Premier League season, I thought this team was going to be really good. After a 2-2 draw to open up the season against Chelsea, and Obafemi Gomes had an amazing game that day to open up the Premier League season. But I think Swansea, after that, they showed that they're not really a good club at all. They just sold Andre Ayew off to West Ham, and they could lose a couple more players before the Premier League season gets fully underway. So with that being said, I think Swansea will finish 14th. Okay, coming up to 13th is Watford. Troy Deeney is obviously the star of this club. He is their number 1 striker, and he is an absolute beast up there. So I think Troy Deeney is going to be able to keep them out of those bottom 5 or 6 spots in the Premier League and get them to a 13th spot. And next, coming in 11, is Everton. Everton is a team that I think is going to fall below expectations this year. Another team that I could see finishing further down the list than I had predicted, but they lost their goalkeeper in Tim Howard, which isn't a major loss, but it's still something that needs to be noted. And they also could be losing Romelu Lukaku back to Chelsea if Chelsea keep pursuing that young striker. So Everton's a team that they could be picking up someone like Juan Mata along the road here in the next few weeks, but that's not going to be a major addition to their side. That's not going to be a player who puts them over the top and maybe into a top 8 position. So I got them finishing 11th in the table. All right, now we're cracking into the top 10, and this team is a team that I may have put higher than a lot of other people did on their lists, and that is Southampton. A lot of people might drop them a little lower on their list, but I think Southampton's a very good team. That could be a bit of a stretch, but it's a team that I think is going to be fun to watch. They might win some big matches throughout their 38 Premier League games. Okay, next on the list is number 9, and that is Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp is going to be his first full season with the Reds, and I think it's going to go below expectations. I don't think he's going to do as well as a lot of people want him to do. It's a team that I think has the potential to do well, but they haven't shown they can put it together on a consistent basis to win in the Premier League, to get up into those top 5 spots where they used to be one of the top clubs in England. I don't think they have it yet. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't have it by next season or the season after that, but right now I have them finishing in 9th place. In 8th place is another team that I think a lot of people would put lower on their lists, and that is Stoke City. Stoke City is a team that I absolutely love to watch. Marko Arnautovic is an absolute beast. Watching him play in the Premier League last season was just so exciting to watch. And they've got so many other players around Arnautovic that they're going to make them into a good team. All right, now we're cracking into the top 7, and this team is a hit or miss. A lot of people are picking them to finish lower in the table. A lot of people are picking them to finish very high in the table. And if you haven't guessed who they are already, it's the reigning Premier League champions, Leicester City. I do have them finishing 7th. They did lose N'Golo Kante, and they could still lose Riyad Mahrez, although I do not think that is likely. But they're going to have to keep that team performing at the same rate while also playing in the Champions League. That's going to be a big burden on this team, especially if they progress, maybe even getting out of the group in Champions League. It's something that their players are going to have to play midweek matches and then go play a Saturday league match. It's going to be something. It's something totally different for a lot of these Leicester City players because it's something they've never had to experience. So I think they're going to have a tough time in the league. They're not going to finish in a top 5 or top 4 position, but they will get a 7 spot, which is not terrible considering that last season was kind of a fluke and no one was expecting them to win it all last season. Coming in at number 6 is West Ham United. I think West Ham has had a great summer, picking up some great players like Feghouli on a free transfer. He's going to play on that right side of the pitch, and he's going to do wonders for West Ham. They've still got Dimitri Payet. They've still got some great players. Reece Oxford is still on that team and is playing better defense in these preseason and Europa League matches. They've got a brand new stadium. They moved into Olympic Stadium, and seeing highlights from the first few matches, the place looks absolutely beautiful. And I think West Ham are going to live up to the expectations of the new stadium, get a 6th spot in the league table, and really prove a lot of people wrong. Coming in at number 5 was the team that was the next closest to winning the Premier League title last season, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. They've got Harry Kane, who is the reigning Golden Boot winner, and they've got Dele Alli, who's probably one of the biggest young phenoms in not only English football, but European football. Dele Alli is an absolute beast in the midfield, and he's going to help them get to a number 5 spot. They've got Toby Alderweireld in the back 4, and he is going to do some great things back there in that right back position this season. Okay, number 4 is the team that always comes just a bit short, and that is Arsenal. Arsenal picked up Granit Xhaka. They've had a great summer. They're in the midst of possibly getting Riyad Mahrez, although, again, I said that is most likely not going to happen. But the team they've got, even without Mahrez, is absolutely amazing, and that's going to get them a Champions League spot. All right, number 3 is one of the Manchester teams. It is Manchester City coming in at number 3. This team is absolutely amazing. Sergio Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne, Nicolas Otamendi, Joe Hart in goal. I mean, this team has got some ballers. And let's not forget that last year they had some pretty bad years from some of their players, bad seasons from some of their players. Raheem Sterling, he can step up, and I think he can provide for Manchester City. And there's just so many players on this team that were under expectations last season. And that if they live up to expectations this season, they could get even higher than 3. But anyways, that's where I have them finishing. Number 2, this is where the bias comes in a little bit. I do have Chelsea FC finishing in the 2 spot this season after their absolutely terrible season last year as the reigning champs. They finished 12th. A lot of people picked them to repeat as champions. With the talent they had on that team, there was no way that they could finish outside of a Champions League spot, let alone the top 10. But again, Chelsea is the same way. A lot of players on that team performed under expectations, and even if they get half as better as they were last season, Chelsea are going to do great things. Eden Hazard had a terrible season last year, so even if he gets close to his best form, he is going to be absolutely amazing in the Premier League season like we have seen in years past. Willian showed a lot of promise last season. He showed that he can drill free kicks in all competitions and that he is absolutely insane on the ball. Chelsea brought in 2 big transfers. They brought in N'Golo Kante from the champs Leicester, who's going to play in that center midfield role, and they brought in Michy Batshuayi, the Belgian striker, who's going to absolutely score a ton of goals like he did in the French league last year. So this is an absolutely exciting time for Chelsea. They've got a lot of youngsters coming up, like Matt Miazga, the American center back, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the British midfielder. Chelsea fans have a lot to look forward to this season, and I think they're going to get close to the title, but not quite, because the title is going to Manchester United. I think it's almost a done deal. A lot of people think it'll be quite close, but I think Manchester United are going to run away with the title this year, and they should. If they don't, it's a disappointment. The summer they've had, they brought in Zlatan Ibrahimovic to play striker, and Paul Pogba, possibly the biggest signing of the summer, although they've probably had the top 2 with Ibrahimovic thrown in the mix as well. But this team is going to be absolutely amazing. They're still going to have Wayne Rooney, which they're working into a midfield role. They're still going to have Marcus Rashford, who is an absolute beast. They're still going to have Jesse Lingard. They've got an absolutely stacked team, and there is no reason that they should not win the Premier League title. it's so hard to explain how good this Manchester United team is. They brought in Jose Mourinho to be their manager. I mean, top to bottom, this is a dream team. And, I mean, I think they're going to run away with the title. It's not going to be close. I think they're going to double up on some big teams. They could double up on Arsenal and Chelsea and really just run away with the title this year. But I hope there's some battles and it gets close in other parts of the table, because Manchester United, they're absolutely loving life right over there. That's my pick. Manchester United runs away with the title. It will not be close. Manchester United destroys everyone else in the Premier League this season. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my predictions. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Let me know your opinion on the matter. I want to know what you guys think about my league table. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. We will be doing Premier League videos throughout the year. So if you guys like to see some more Premier League videos, hit subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, because it is only the beginning of the season and we've got a lot of soccer left to play.